computer. You have had recording started.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, like we were talking about,
Hold on. Let me start the video. So, welcome to AI Archwizard. I am here with Big Loaf from North Carolina to talk about running large language models locally. And you have LM Studio running on different computer, but exposing the models via REST API. Yes?
Yeah, that's correct. LM Studio has what's called developer mode. So, any model that you have loaded, you can access it from a remote machine.
So REST API.
Yes. And it supports, I think, completions and responses endpoints. So, the old stuff and the new stuff. So, basic tools like web fetch will work, that kind of thing.
So practically speaking, you can run chatbots, but also you can run OpenClaw AI agent.
Yes, I actually use OpenAI for OpenClaw. And we can demo that as well. I've got it tied into Telegram. I use it for really basic use cases. Let me get bottom line up front. Is what we're gonna do with a local LLM anywhere near what you could do with Opus 4.6? No. What it is really good at is low latency responses and getting really simple, like, text summarization, text breakdowns, so for example, I use it to monitor Mastodon and tell me about the most popular updates.
Maybe move
right?
on the screen, show stuff on the screen, because this is video, we need to show stuff.
Yeah. So let's just tell it to tell me about itself, right? So you see my prompt, tell me about
Mhm.
remote models available. Here's the endpoint. Use curl to tell me as much as possible, right? And if we come over to the other screen, you can actually see my GPU working, right? It went up to 193 watts,
Mhm.
and
So how many video RAM your GPU has?
it has 24 gigs.
Oh, not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are now calling REST API of LM Studio.
Yes.
But he is not getting proper model. Okay.
Yeah.
Proper endpoint, I mean.
There we go. And so, if we come back here, you can see a historical graph. Every time I do that, it spikes the GPU, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can say, tell me more about each of those models
Mm-hmm.
and which one is loaded currently, if possible, right? And so we come back
Yes,
here
this is
and
interesting information because only the models that are loaded can be called.
that's right. I do think they're working on dynamic model loading, however. Um, and it does not describe each model or whatever. Okay, fine. So let's try something new. Let's try
Uh-huh.
something new, right? So I need you to write a script that will monitor CPU, memory, and disk utilization.
But you can
Call
tell
it
from your memory about their editor models that are there.
create it and run it and give me the results. So this is a little bit more of a complex task, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we come over here. What do you mean you cannot?
I think that language model that you use now, which is Mistral, is not intelligent enough.
Yeah. Ah, but it does respond, right? So and the funny thing is if I use Telegram to ask it some of these same questions, it'll work, right? So I've
But
got
are you in
OpenClaw running.
OpenClaw?
Yes, this is OpenClaw, right? So you can see.
But do you have some users? Is it a secret, a list of users, or should I cover it?
It's not a secret list of users.
Not secret. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in OpenClaw now session.
Yes. Yes.
Big
Yes.
Loaf bot, because in Telegram all bots have to end with bot.
Right. If
And
we come back here, you can see it's running.
Can you ask
There it comes.
OpenClaw what OpenClaw version and LLM version are you using? Which is good to know because it is developing rapidly.
Right. And we flip back here, we can see once again CPU spikes or GPU spikes. And there it goes. I actually used OpenClaw to update OpenClaw yesterday. It updated itself.
So you have the latest 21 tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
using Mistral. Interesting. Okay.
Yes, yeah, and you can see sort of kind of what I do with it, right? Here's the latest post from Mastodon's RSS bot over.
So what is your OpenClaw use cases?
Really just summarize right now summarize system load and summarize Mastodon activity. I have it watching my I've got a little bot that I wrote that will take a OPML file and sort of scrape all the RSS feeds and then post the latest.
Maybe scroll a little bit screen. We don't want a static screen. YouTube likes to have moving screens.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about reminders and cron drops and skiers? You are not getting off?
Oh yeah, this is running as a cron. So what crons are defined? I just ask it that, right? Again, we can come back here. We can see this machine's working. So
I would call it a cron drops because I don't know if he understands crons.
Yeah, it does.
He does. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have Mastodon post summarization, system performance metrics, Mastodon posts checker. Okay. So we have 3 cron jobs.
Yes.
And what about skills? What skills are installed? Maybe you can ask.
Skills are installed. I don't think I have any skills installed, but
probably you're not using skills.
Not in this. Not in. Yeah.
Okay, startup file. Protocols, memory. What were the skills?
Yeah, it's just a main agent.
So there's only a main agent, so you don't have any additional skills.
No. But that's something I'm actually working on the side, right? Have you ever seen ClawHub?
Of course. Are you dropping?
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, I'm actually creating my own skills for various things, like I don't know, like at work, how do you skills for Azure DevOps, skills for info blocks.
Yes, exactly. I have seen. Yeah. I have to tell you in ClawHub because OpenClaw.ai is the main website of the OpenClaw, but the creator of OpenClaw has another website called ClawHub. I've forgotten what is it. .com?
Yeah, it might be .com. I'm not sure.
So ClawHub website has a lot of skills, and now there are thousands skills, and there are skills that he developed himself, and also skills that third-party people developed. And he developed some interesting skills, and I have to tell you, I was browsing those skills and searching, and there are even skills that let you connect to different kinds of enterprise software.
Yeah, so I mean that's what we're creating at work, right? And it's funny like how a lot of this stuff sort of kind of bleeds over from home to work, right? So if we come back here, one of the things that I've been working on, so if we go to MT RAID, all right, so let's fire OpenCode back up.
So your OpenClaw is running on the local model, not no cloud.
That's right.
Local large language model. So it is possible.
Yes, very much possible. Search for all mentions of pizza. Right. figure it out and use it to search for the term pizza. Right.
You are not prepared. The some they cannot find. It cannot find.
Yeah, even though it found it. That is so if I switch models and then I'm gonna use Codex, right?
Ah, it's the best. Yes, Codex
Yeah. Yeah. Now
GPT.
watch the difference, right? And then this is like sort of kind of where um, you know, local models fail, right? Those really quote unquote complex tasks. So you can see just one shot, same prompt, right? Found the
Mm-hmm.
file, just like the other model found the file, and yeah, I was able to run it, right? So I
But
really
currently, for the coding stuff, Claude Opus 4.6 and OpenAI GPT 5.3 Codex are the best.
yeah. I mean, Gemma 3 or Gemini uh 3 is actually pretty good too. I've tested that out.
Ah, yes,
But
yes, I forgotten
yeah,
in it, in
yeah,
it.
yes, but
From
I've used
Google,
it here
from
at the house.
Google.
Yes, yeah, and it's very good. I've used it here at the house to build this script. But recently I've been doing more testing with Codex 5.3 at work. It's man, it's Opus 4.6 all the way. I mean,
But you are
there's
using
no substitute.
in this window you are using OpenCode. You are not using Telegram because
Yes, but
you are
yeah,
using direct connection to the LM Studio on other computer.
that's right. But I'm actually going. It's actually doing a vector database search for all the Epstein files for the term pizza. So
Oh, don't
yeah.
mention this is the dangerous topic for YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry. It could be
Let's not
any
talk.
PDF file. It could be any PDF file. So like you know,
No, you are you are really disturbing me.
no. It's a very good project to like just you
Yes,
know
but please understand that the AI Archwizard YouTube channel is about AI tools, not politics. No politics.
yes, this is not political, right? It's strictly, regardless of how you feel, all about ingesting a
Mhm.
lot of data and being able to search it using AI, right? So it could be any PDF files, anything that you can use an embedding model to, you know, vectorize,
But now
any.
you are calling Codex, or you are using Mistral
Well,
to search for this file.
I'm not actually using the local GPU, right? That's what did all the embedding, right? And it returns some results, right? But you know, it's I guess the takeaway here is like these local models aren't going to replace anything like Codex 5.3.
Yet.
Yes. But for simple like hey, here's a bunch of text, summarize it for me, right? It's really good for that. Super
And
low
also for open
latency.
cooperation, I think should be enough. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you can see it's giving me, system metric breakdowns, right? That's exactly what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, is there anything to more that we can talk about for the video
No,
for the
I mean
YouTube channel?
that's really the key takeaway, right? The local models are really good for, simple stuff. If
Mm.
you're on an OpenClaw and you have a very precise
Simple.
prompt. Well, yeah, simple use case with a very precise prompt, right? And that's the key. You got to be precise
Can
with
you
your
go
prompt.
to open code and show me the list of the models that you have?
Oh yeah, I've got a ton. Uh,
The choice.
yeah. I
Just
mean,
yeah. Stay on it. And so, do we have Codex, which is from the cloud? We have Mistral, that is from LM Studio, REST API. And can you talk about other models here on the list?
yeah. I mean, these are really just sort of kind of the models that I've been testing out recently. Some of them, obviously, come from LM Studio. Others come from OpenAI, and yet others
Mm-hmm.
come from, Google. I've tried Google Vertex. as well as just Google
So
Gemini.
Claude Opus is not here.
Uh, it is
Too
here, but
too expensive here.
yeah, they heavily. Oh, they actually. Oh, there it goes. Here are the Anthropic models. We could try it. So
But you had subscription there?
see, resource busy, getting a 429 rate limit. Too many people are using it.
No, but you are paying for this?
Yes. Well, this is a pay by the request, right?
Pay back,
So
but
yeah, Vertex, I do pay by request. If I need like, you know, quote unquote priority service, I can always use
you mean
Vertex.
Opus? Opus.
Well, it doesn't. I've never been able to get Opus to work via Vertex, although it is a
What is
listed model.
Vertex? What is
Vertex,
Vertex?
Vertex is Google's like AI studio kind of offering, right? It's supposed to be a
Hmm.
little bit more thorough than what you get with Gemini, which is sort of kind of straightforward, like inference and stuff like that. The
So it's
Vertex
not
platform
direct
allows.
connection, but it's not direct connection
No,
to
no,
Claude Opus.
no. Well, they host a model. I don't know what the relationship is there, but Vertex as a platform enables you to do things like deep research, vectorizing large amounts of data, instead of doing it locally, what I've done here, and then
No,
tie all those things together
forget
instead
it.
of
It's
just.
not working. It's not working.
Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, so stop that. But
Okay.
yeah, we can look at another model which I know works. And that is uh oh, they've already got let's try
2.1.
this one. Yeah, let's see if this is still available.
3 is already in the full version, not alpha, so should be working.
There you go. Yeah. So I use them all, I test them all, right? I've found that there's use cases for everything, right? There's some solutions that are better for others. If you want a coding assistant, I think, Codex 5.3 is really good. It tries to be your buddy a little too much for me, right? It's a little bit, too
And
interrogative.
some people claim that Claude Code is better for coding.
Yeah, I like that better, because I'm sort of kind of like not a I'm a DevOps person. I work in the cloud, right? And so a lot of what I'm doing is sort of kind of operational in nature, right? So, for example, if I say, "Hey, go upgrade these clusters," right? Go upgrade these
Yeah,
EKS
but
clusters.
what DevOps platform are you using? Remind me.
All sorts of things are in our stack. We use EKS, we use Rancher, we use oh man, Azure DevOps. We've got some security tooling that I can't
Is
name.
Jenkins also a DevOps?
No, we don't use Jenkins. We used to use Jenkins, but now we're using Azure DevOps for CI/CD pipelines.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, we've built skills to manage all that through Opus. So Opus is not going to ask you as many questions. It's not interrogative.
Show on the screen something because we need it for the video.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're saying
But
that Opus is not. Uh, Opus probably also understands all DevOps and not on the Codex. Yeah.
yeah, they both understand it. It's just sort of kind of the approach, right? And I forgot the guy's name, but there's a guy that created OpenClaw. He sort of kind of said it best, right?
Pika something. Pika something.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's 5.3 Codex is too interrogative for me. It's like when I tell you to do something, don't ask me, hey, do you want to do it?
But he
Like
is biased because he was hired by OpenAI.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm team Anthropic all the way. Yeah, it's that they've got the best model for what I do, right? And there's no one size fits all. That's sort of kind of my key takeaway, right?
Because here you are showing your home environment, but at work you have Claude too.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's the local models, great for simple processing of like inputs, like things like summarizations, basic stuff, basic testing, of code. Like, hey, go run this test and let me know if you see errors, that kind of thing. I find it's pretty good for that. However, when you get into things like actually writing code or doing production work, those
But
larger
in
hosted models
DevOps,
are better.
I thought that in DevOps you are just writing code in YAML for pipelines. This is not much code writing.
Yeah, well, just because it's YAML doesn't mean it's not much code writing. Our pipelines are, God, uh, probably thousands of lines long because we
Ah,
have
okay.
so many steps in terms of how to build an image, where the
But are
image
you embedding
goes.
some scripts inside of YAML, or are you just
Yeah,
writing in pure YAML?
pure YAML, but they call actions that run things like building the Docker image, scanning the Docker image for vulnerabilities, pushing the Docker image out to the various namespaces like for QA for.
Speaking of Docker, is your OpenClaw running in Docker or native operating system?
I I cannot say.
Okay,
I should be running in Docker. I'll
justified.
say that. Yes, yeah, I should be running in Docker. After this podcast is published, I probably will be running in Docker.
No, no, no. I'm not pushing you. I'm just saying that people are using Docker to run OpenClaw to prevent any additional attack vectors.
Yes, and that's the safe thing to do, right? That's the right thing to do. And I don't know if you saw, but there's a new fork of OpenClaw that is designed with better sandboxing in mind. I
Yeah,
don't,
many folks. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if that's going to take off though, because now OpenClaw has the backing of, OpenAI, so I expect that to get a lot of attention.
exactly. Here we get more resources, and uh, I am still impressed how often they're releasing. OpenClaw is releasing new versions with many fixes and running new features.
Yes, yes. So much so that we actually have use cases for it, where I work, which,
For
uh,
OpenClaw.
uh-huh.
So this is fascinating because everybody was thinking that OpenClaw is only for hobbyists at home, but it is revolutionizing whole AI industry by making agentic AI totally powerful.
Yes, and it allows you to bring agentic AI to where people are at, right? So like you're watching my terminal, right? I'm a Unix guy. I have a big beard. I have a Unix beard,
Mhm.
right? So I like using AI at the terminal, right? Other people, they want to use it through a chatbot, right? So think about, some
Telegram.
executive, right? In Teams and set up.
And you know that the creator of OpenClaw created it first for WhatsApp, not for Telegram, because WhatsApp is the most popular in Europe, and he is from Austria. Okay, so after XOM has crashed on your Linux, we are resuming the talk
Yes, we were
because
talking about
I running
OpenClaw.
on Macintosh, and you're running your XOM as a client, native client on Linux, which I didn't even know exists.
Yes, it's a thing, but evidently not a good thing. But
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 our friend Adam Carey already switched to Linux. Also, maybe you should use the same distribution as he is using.
yeah, yeah. Well, he doesn't use Zoom, so maybe we should switch to the same platform he's using. But I digress.
No, 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 no. This is better. He is not. He doesn't have video. He has only audio, so it doesn't
Right,
matter.
right.
So
Exactly.
we were talking about OpenClaw, and that it is. You also ponder using it in your enterprise.
Yes, I mean, we have use cases like, for, chatbot, where you know, somebody, maybe a manager, wants like a new laptop, there's a use case for OpenClaw there, right? It's where we take it, we don't know yet, but we
And also,
know
you
we
can
have.
check the status of your DevOps continuous integration, continuous development pipelines.
Yes, we have that, but it requires you to go to like a web interface, you chat with it, et cetera, et
No,
cetera.
no. I mean, you could do it from the Telegram.
Yes, or in our case, at work we use Teams, right? So there's native
And
integration with Teams.
there is key for Teams also,
Yes, yes, exactly. And so, yeah,
Microsoft Teams.
yeah, it's all about meeting people where they're at. If you want to
Hmm.
interact, agentically with AI via Teams, okay. If you want to use a
So,
web browser, okay.
so
If you
what does it mean? Agentic. Agentic means that it runs in the background. It can uh, analyze situation from time to time and make his own decisions.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, basically, agentic AI is just using agents to get a job done, right? As opposed to, just question and answer. Think about when GPT 4 or 3 landed, right? It's all you would say, "How do I do this?" Right, and it would spit out a bunch of commands, and then you go copy and
So
paste it,
can
and
you
then
can you go to your OpenClaw Telegram and ask why do you think that you are agentic? I wonder what he will say. It's not the best model, but let's see.
let's see what it says, right? And so we could come back here. We can see, LM Studios top process is hitting the GPU.
GPU is hot.
Yes, yes, it gets very hot. And there goes our answer. It doesn't see
Oh,
itself as agentic in any special or self-granting sense. Well, I guess that's
so
good.
so so he is modest.
Yes.
I am following a workflow, he says.
Yeah.
I'm remembering past context. I'm checking system metrics. And clone jobs, exactly. So no, this is agentic. Interesting. I thought that this is agentic.
Well, I mean, is it doing something for me? Yes. That means it's agentic. So
So you disagree with his answer.
uh, you know, uh, I don't agree actually. I would consider it agentic if it's doing something for me.
Mito. Mito.
Yeah, I mean it even says if the system is flagging me as agentic, it's likely because da 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 da. Yeah, because you're doing all this agentic stuff. So these models aren't these small models aren't really, how should I put it, smart, right? They're they're they're
Mhm.
they're really good at summarization. That
Simple stuff.
yeah, very simple stuff. For complex reasoning, complex tasks, not so great, right? And you saw that earlier, right? Simple, write a bash script. It had a very hard time with that. I
I
had
have
to
seen
uh, I had to feed it a lot of information to get it to do something simple with curl.
and OpenClaw. I have seen that it is possible to configure different LLMs for different laws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
Oh,
something I'm going to be looking into. Like, for the simple stuff. It's one thing, but I'm gonna set up another agent tied into Gemini, for other things. I'm gonna tie it into Gemini and Nano Banana Pro, so that my kids can generate memes and be
okay.
better trolls.
Oh, cool. Okay. Can you show something else? Because for video, when it's
Mhm.
moving something on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, so we could do anything. Like, so can you tell me about the GPU in that you were configured to use? Right?
No, it's difficult.
No, it's not. It's actually pretty.
You see, because he doesn't have different access.
Yeah, it just asked me if it wanted to do that.
But is OpenClaw running on the same machine where GPU?
Yeah, yeah, and it came back with the correct answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is NVIDIA 4090, which is not bad.
No,
Usually
not
used by
bad. That's like the
is used
second.
by gamers.
That's the most second most expensive card you could get. The 5090 is the only thing more expensive, and I don't think you can get one.
No, I think I have seen ones from 12,000s.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
it
I
is so
mean,
cool. So you are in that ideal situation because you have GPU and OpenClaw in the same machine.
yeah, Or
and
I
you
can
don't have to
expose this.
worry. So you totally zero worry about costs.
Yeah, yeah. The only worry that you have is I just said
Yes,
yes. Yeah, just do it. Just give us something for content. Give us some AI
yes,
slop.
exactly. Well, it's not slop; it's information because we are talking about using local LLM for OpenClaw and also in general. So if you your day job, do they have GPUs also? How will you solve it for the day job? Or
It
you
depends.
have code, yeah? They're called
Well,
Opus.
it depends on the use case, right? Because like my use case is very, like I said earlier, it's very
Close that to microphone, please.
yeah, it's very what do you call it? It's very operationally focused, that kind of thing. And so,
Because
we don't
Adam Carey was commenting on my thoughts about OpenClaw that it is extremely expensive.
it is. It's extremely expensive. For the tasks that I'm doing, will the company
Claude
pay for it?
Opus.
Yeah, absolutely we pay for it. So it's that good. But
So your data will pay for it, shortly speaking.
yes, they'll pay for it, right? I mean, I think the
Okay.
going rate out of AWS Bedrock is per million tokens. Is Input is what, $5 per million. Output is $15 per million.
Yes, that's the price. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty expensive,
So
right?
as example, I am running OpenClaw on GPT-5 Nini, which is only zero something per million, 0.3 or something, 0.1.
Yes. Yeah, and that probably will do better than local, but hey, if OpenClaw is going to be doing stuff constantly, then pennies add up to dollars, right? So
Exactly, and there's Goroth, yeah,
yeah, exactly. So
but not hundreds.
right, but if you got like a bunch of like really simple tasks, uh, this is what I find myself doing is using something like Codex 5.3 to create like sort of kind of the scripts that then
Hmm.
I'll
Intelligent stuff.
yeah, and then use a local model to run those scripts and summarize output. So instead of just saying, hey, Codex 5.3, go do this for me every time, I'm gonna rack up a bill like that. You know, no,
So
no,
but for OpenClaw, I think for operation you don't need such high intelligence.
yes, yeah. But at work, when I'm doing like really critical operational stuff, in production, yeah, this would not work. I would not trust a local LLM at all. I
But
mean, well,
OpenClaw,
I take that back. I wouldn't trust a small like 30 billion parameter local LLM at all. Now, for other use cases at work, we have servers that have eight
but
eight
what
two
is cases?
hundreds.
Imagine you are driving to work and there is a traffic jam, and you would like to check via Telegram whether pipelines are working fine.
Yes, we can do that. We'll be able to do that. I mean, if I had something like I don't know, Jenkins running here or GitLab runner or pick your poison, right? I think
Mm.
local LLM would be great for that, you know.
So pipeline that is running inside of some virtual machine, and it is showing your status of the pipeline. But what about starting pipelines? Could you also start pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, we our skills using the there's here's the thing. If there's a REST API or a command line client, you could create a skill to do it all. Now, in the case of, Azure DevOps, there's both a REST API and a command line
Oh,
client.
yes. So simply you can create your own skit because REST API you need to provide authentication and the description of the API,
Yeah,
and then you can tell him that you need this and this.
right. And so for Infoblocks, which is the DNS provider, right, I created a skill for that. I said, I simply said, go look at the API reference over on this web page. Here's the grid master. Here are the
Can you
credentials.
open ClawHub? Let us take a look in this existing skills
Yeah, let's
because
do
we
it.
are talking about DevOps. There's new tab. Yeah. Oh, ClawHub.ai. Can you make it this white? I like white. Click on the sun.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And search for DevOps. Probably there are already some
Oh, I'm sure. Let's see what we have.
DevOps. Ah, you see? So
Yeah.
only two, only two. So you could be master. You could create your own and be better. Which DevOps is this one is called? Docker,
Yeah, it looks like
Terraform.
yeah. No, no Ansible. No,
It doesn't say.
mm,
So it
no.
looks like simple skill. And
Yeah,
the other one?
yeah. And we go back to the other one. Just open that in a new window.
Kubernetes.
Kubernetes. That's important for me.
And Cloud Engineer Script and Kubernetes.
GitLab runners. We were just talking about that. So, oh yeah,
But
yeah.
Prometheus.
All that good stuff. Yes.
Okay. And just before we finish, go to the mains page of ClawHub. I wanted to, and click on the skills. Skills?
Yeah.
No, both skills or skills, yes. And now download, yes, click on the first one's skill, the Google skill, click the first one. And now click on the username of Peter. Peter, this with ape symbol. No, next one. Yeah, this one.
Yep.
Yes. And you see, here are skills developed by him, creator of OpenClaw, and Peter. And these are the most trustworthy. And you can see that he has like 30 or something, quite a lot. And
Yeah.
skills are vectored, so they are secure. No malware. MCP. I want to try the MC poker because it is calling MCP servers.
Yeah, and that's a real concern I have with skills is that skills really blow up the context window, right? Versus
Yes.
versus MCP. I mean,
Of
it's
OpenClaw.
yeah, I mean,
LLM.
well, of any LLM, right? Because you got to pull in all those files into your context, right? I mean, that's what skills are. They're markdown files, right? So you've got to pull all that into your context as opposed to
Again, scroll. That's a big while we talk.
hmm?
Scroll the window while we talking.
Yeah. So like it's one of those things where, I there's a time and a place for skills and there's a time and a place for MCP. Right. And I think skills are really easy to create and consume. But once you get to, you know,
But
10,
I was
20
looking in the source
skills.
code of skills, and some of the skills they are simply bash script that they're calling curl.
Yeah, yeah. So all that has to go into your context, right? So like let's see if we can look at one, for example. Uh
Whether
yeah, where's how can I get to um how can I get to okay, here we go.
you,
Actually, this is a good to your point, right? Just use a curl.
okay, so that's using curl. More skills.
Yeah, and what I've
Curl, which is HTTP client.
yeah, and what I found out is that when you take this approach, the LLM has to, in a lot of cases, especially if you don't have the skill fully fleshed out, it has to do a lot of API guessing, a lot of back and forth with that service, right? Versus an
No,
MCP,
but in a Markdown file, you can describe it. What
yeah,
you wanna.
yeah, you can add more context, right? And that even further blows out your context window, right?
And you can scroll up, and you can see that there's zip file. You can
yeah,
unpack it. It's everything is open source.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's skills have their place, right? But MCP servers, if you have to interact with dozens of services, MCP is where it's at, right? Skills are really good. Just blow out your context window, right? And make
So MCP basically is already the interface for large language models for agentic AI, but skits are something new for OpenClaw.
yes.
Okay.
Well,
So
I wouldn't say they're new for OpenClaw, but they've been around a while. I mean, it's just
No,
context.
no, OpenClaw is new. I mean, this one.
Oh yeah, ClawHub. Yeah, yeah. That
ClawHub, OpenClaw, this is everything new. Of course, he probably has some inspiration from other.
yes,
Okay, so go back to open code and or to Telegram. Let's slowly finish this talk. We covered. I thought that we would be talking about LM Studio, but we were talking about different topics. We were talking about OpenClaw. We were talking a lot, and Telegram communication. So maybe as a conclusion, give me your impressions about OpenClaw. How do you see it? So it is not only for hobbyists; it is also for enterprise and for day jobs. Yeah.
yeah. Everything that starts as a hobby ends up in the
Close it to
enterprise.
microphone, please.
Yeah, everything that starts as a hobby ends up as in the enterprise, right? You think about Linux. Linux was a hobby, and then
Yes.
5 years later, it's running every data center around, right? You know,
And OpenAI hired this guy and patches the OpenClaw.
yes, yes. And so, what I have found professionally, like, with 25 years plus in the business, is that all these little side projects that people work on that are hobbies,
Passionate.
yes, they ultimately end up in the enterprise, almost always, right? And I think that's a good thing. That's it starts with a crazy idea. You flesh it out at home. You're like, hey, I could use this at work, and it ends up being used at work. I see this
And
going the same way.
big corporations, and AI haters are saying that it is security risk.
Yeah, because people are doing dumb stuff with it, right? I mean, you get what you deserve, right? If you're going to run an unsandbox and expose like the gateway to the internet and all that crap, yeah, you're going to have problems, right?
And
Uh,
you can protect it with Linux firewall with this UFW.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I find before OpenClaw, I was running Open Web UI, and I had to expose the web UI to the internet, right? With OpenClaw, I'm not really exposing any service to the internet. I'm actually using
Just Telegram.
just Telegram, and I can authorize each user, right? So I've got role-based access control, explicit authorization, et cetera, et cetera. So the attack
And
surface is out.
Telegram is very easy to use and safe because you don't have to have like a SIM card like in WhatsApp to separate. You can have several bots because for several agents, many people who use OpenClaw, they use sub agents to execute different roles. And like one main agent and 5 sub agents, and you can have for each sub agent you can have your own
Yes.
Telegram channel and so on.
Yes, yes. So, it's oh yeah, I just got a update from OpenClaw now. Summary of news off of Mastodon. So, yeah.
But usually you get it without asking. So here's CronJob, and he sends you after checking. Like usually people are doing it this way that they have a CronJob or have reminder, but usually OpenClaw is working in the night. They're waking up and they're getting in the morning.
Yes, that's exactly what I do, right? I just scroll back through my history, and it's like, okay, this is what happened while I'm sleeping. So, yeah,
And also, I guess that in your day job situation, you could develop solution where maybe skill or maybe I don't know how with Polygon or with hooks, because there are also hooks. You could do that in case of your DevOps pipeline is failed. You could get a Telegram message.
yes, yeah, exactly, right. And that's stuff that we could do today with what we currently have, just using webhooks. The real power in OpenClaw is it's bidirectional, right? It's not just a notification, that goes just.
Okay, score screener to made because we need movement for the video.
Yeah, I mean, so
okay, keep hit this window. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, so thank you for chit chat. You want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, just make sure you choose the right model for the right use case. There is a use case for local models. If you have a local GPU, really simple summarization stuff, it's really good for. Complex stuff, not so good for. So, choose wisely, based on your use case and your pocketbook.
So you can use it. You can use OpenClaw for free locally if you have GPU, NVIDIA, and then you can. But on Mac Mini or Macs, usually it's difficult to find good model. So I don't know whether you should buy a Mac Mini, but the most intelligent ones are still in the cloud.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Please,
you.
and listeners, please subscribe and give a like.